All right, man, we back. Goodfellas Sports TV. Talk a little bit about the Mavericks and the Clippers game yesterday. Check our NBA Talk playlist for more videos like that. Appreciate the love and support. Just keep sharing the videos. It's the best way to support and donate. But yeah, yesterday, man, I watched the Clipper game, and the Clippers had a 21-point lead. No Porzingis out there, and I'm not even gonna talk about the game. The Mavs won. All right, that's all that mattered. No Porzingis, and Luka took over, and he airballed 3 times, coming off a bad ankle injury. And, he went out there and balled. But, yeah, man, Luka was fantastic. The Clippers have no answer for him. And one of the reasons the Clippers have no answer for him, they have no rim protector. All right? That's going to be their Achilles heel. They spent all money and resources on Kawhi and bringing Paul George in, but they didn't put a complete team together. They had guys like Patrick Beverley, who ain't playing, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell. They had some solid players. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have a rim protector. And they should have went out there and got a rim protector. They should have put a complete team around around Kawhi Leonard. That's the problem. When you let a player go out there and dictate how you build your team, that's the problem. At the end of the day, where was Kawhi going to go? He wasn't going to go to the Lakers. He would have had to go back to Toronto. And you let him dictate and you give all those resources up, like 4, 5, 6 first-round picks, 2 from Miami, like 4 from the Clippers. You give all those picks up and players up, Gillingsley, Danilo Gallinari up. You give all those players up for Paul George, and he ain't performing. And then again, you still got a deficiency in the middle of your defense. They should have took all the resources and built a proper team around Kawhi Leonard. You should have set Kawhi Leonard down and say, look here, I know you want Paul George, but we think we better if we put a better team around you. We'll let you know what we're going to be trading these guys and these assets for, what we can bring in. They should have tried to bring in the Clint Capella, and then you can go out there and try to get that next star out there, and they didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And right now, that's the issue. They was better off kind of going a tier down as far as an opposite player to Paul George, and it's hard for me to think off the bounce. If you can get a Clint Capella and then you could put another wing player with him. Jimmy Butler would have been good, but I think he was hell-bent on going where he was going. You know what I would have did? I probably would have called up Boston and gave him a king's ransom for Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying? That's who I probably would have looked at, bringing in Jaylen Brown, a Victor Oladipo, even though he ended up getting injured. This is before he got injured, but if he did get injured, that would be a problem. I'd have went to a tier down. Maybe I would have tried to get Brandon Ingram, you know what I'm saying, from New Orleans. At a certain point in time where from the Lakers weren't going to trade him over there. That's what I would have tried to look to go get, one of those type of guys. Because right now it just ain't working with Paul George. But, Luka's able to do what he want to do right now. And one of the reasons is if you cut him off at the rim and you got a rim defender, that's the difference. So then he can't just walk to the rim and get an easy bucket every time or get fouled. If you got a true rim defender, Ben Wallace or Rudy Gobert or Mutombo, those things wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And, that's what they need, a true rim defender. Maybe, bringing Steven Adams in, if they could have swung Steven Adams back in that trade, that would have been beautiful. You put Adams down there, and now you got somebody that can control the boards, but, the Clippers soft in the middle, and Luka can do whatever he want to do. Luka can go to the rim. Luka can stop and pop. He can do the floater. He can kill it from mid-range. He can post up. He can shoot it from 3. If you cut the paint off from Porzingis and Luka, you know what I'm saying, that's half the game won right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. Luka Dončić can do what he want to do, and this is a different era. A lot of these dudes can go to the rim, and you don't have to worry about facing, a Shaquille O'Neal, a Keem Olajuwon, Alonzo Mourning, the Georgetown boys, Mutombo, Patrick Ewing. You ain't got to worry about, going to the rim and worry about getting stopped. They don't have any more big guys who control the paint. All these big guys are glorified stretch fives, and really they play the guard like they play the position like 2 guards. You have to be able to dominate the paint. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of these teams not gonna win none. That's why Anthony Davis will never be a dominant big fella. That's why Karl Anthony Towns will never be a dominant big fella. They don't know how to dominate the paint offensively or defensively. If you cut Luka off and he can't get to the hole And also they took a lot of the physicality out of basketball too. But you know, if he can't get to the hole, a lot of times he not gonna be able to find no rhythm. He not gonna be able to hit them step back 3-pointers like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times he get going by getting to the free throw line, you know, getting easy layups. Once you cut that paint off, which the Clippers, it's impossible for it to happen at this point. You know, it's a problem. I would consider even putting Joakim Noah in there. You know what I'm saying? I would consider putting Joakim Noah in there because they can't cut the paint off. You know, and the Clippers gonna struggle, you know, versus the Lakers because they got no answer for AD. If they do make it that far, AD had any fucking dog in him, and Frank Vogel had any coach in him, I would feature AD posting up all day. Bron and AD would post up every time versus the Clippers and kick it off with 3-point shots when they collapse. But, you know, Luka doing it all. He posting up, he getting to the bucket, he exploiting the Clippers every way possible. And behind a lot of really great defenders in this league are great rim defenders. You know what I'm saying? When you got dudes that win Defensive Player of the Year, usually they got really good rim defenders or solid rim protection. And right now, the Clippers don't have that. So Kawhi and Paul George getting exposed as defenders is because, yeah, in this NBA, I can't hand check. I can't put my hands on you. Once Luka turned the corner, I basically got to be like this. And I'm expecting a Gobert to come and clean it up or a Whiteside to come clean it up. And right now, it's Chihuahua. It's snoring. You know, but right now, you know, they don't have that. You know what I'm saying? In Toronto, Kawhi had Paul Gasol, Serge Ibaka. You know, you go down to San Antonio, he had Tim Duncan. You know, they don't have no rim protector right now. And, you know, Luka doing what he want to do. And right now, Luka the best thing smoking in the league. Him and Damian Lillard is going at it. And people still saying, well, LeBron is the best player. LeBron is not the best player in the league right now. That pedestal has been passed when Kevin Durant, you know, took that from him. LeBron ain't been the best player since he won in Cleveland. That was the last year he was the best player. When Kevin Durant, the last 3 years have been, those 3 years after that was the best player in the NBA. The last couple years, you know what I'm saying? You could probably, last year was Giannis. You know, I say last year was Giannis, and this year was Giannis. And Luka's better than LeBron this year. Look at the numbers. You put LeBron on Dallas. Is Dallas in that position? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? LeBron is barely a top 5 player right now. You know what I'm saying? He had a few terrible games. He shot terrible in game 1 versus the Mavs. Versus the who the fuck they playing? The Trailblazers. He was terrible in game 2. AD carried them. In game, I think what they up 2-1, game 3, whatever. Fuck, he had one good game out of 3 or 4 games being played. But you know, people live. You know, they live how they want to live, and they look at what they want to look at. But right now, the best players in the game is Giannis and Luka Dončić, and it ain't even close. You know what I'm saying? And you know, to talk about Boy George or Paul George, PG-13, Pandemic P, Playoff Packing P, Playoff P, whatever you want to call them. Terrible, garbage, bum. You spent all those assets on the guy historically who sucked in the playoffs. Kawhi wanted that guy. He wanted him in Toronto. You know, Toronto said no. You know, and then you know he wanted him with the Clippers. Terrible last night. You know, and Doc Rivers is not really a good coach at this point. With them switching on the pick and rolls, no, you fight through the pick and rolls. No, you can fight through the pick and rolls and still not give up the paint. But they probably can't because they don't have no rim defender. But you know, when you got a player that can't get going, early on you try to get them easy buckets. Instead of Paul George isolating on the wing and dribble, drive and kick, how about we get Paul George, you know, cutting in the back door? How about we try to set him up some easy plays to get some layups going first? That's how we trying to get Paul George. How about we feature Paul George at the elbow posting up and then driving and isolating him? How about we post him up on the block? How about we try to get him in some pick and roll situations with Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi Leonard able to make this decision either to score, kick out, or hit the roller in Paul George and get him going to the basket. Obviously, he blew up layup yesterday that would have made it a tie if Luka would have hit the 3. But quite frankly, how about we get Paul George some easy buckets early on to build his confidence? Call some plays for him, some down screens, have him come off some curls. Let's get some plays, some sweet spots. Let's have them cutting back door. All the Clippers do is everybody, everybody just stand and watch the motherfucker who got the ball. Ain't nobody cutting. Ain't no screen and roll going on. Ain't no pin downs. Ain't no curls. Every now and again they doing the pick and roll. Doc Rivers is really responsible for not making the proper adjustments with Paul George. Real talk. He was very, very responsible for not making those adjustments. You know what I'm saying? When you got a guy that's struggling, let's get him going to the hole. Let's get him cutting down screens. You know what I'm saying? Doc Rivers is very overrated. You know what I'm saying? Paul George struggling, let's get him going to the bucket. Let's get him involved early. Let's put him on the block. Who they got? Steph Curry on him? Possibly sometime? Let's get him on the block. Post Steph Curry up. Let's get him some easy buckets. And, Doc Rivers, he getting exposed this series for not being that good. And Paul George, we already knew he had his playoff struggles, and whatever his situation, is, if it's a mental block, if it's shoulder hurting, or whatever it may be. The Clippers still should win this series, but right now they in trouble. And it ain't Kawhi's fault. It ain't Lewis Williams' fault. Yeah, they got injuries to Patrick Beverly, but so does Dallas. And they got Montrezl Harrell. He had to lead a bubble for his grandmother passing, and all that type of stuff. But right now, what I'm saying, they just can't win without Paul George playing like that. You know what I'm saying? They got to be able to get us some easy buckets. But I mean, it is what it is, man. And Paul George is out there getting dogged, playing soft. And if he continues to play like that and we get bounced, I'll move his ass next year. Real talk. I'll move his ass. I might move his ass to Philly. Truth be told. I'll move him to Philly. I'll put a Packers where they ain't got no picks. But I will move him to Philly. I'll try to get Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid, one of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, I'll try to go get Joel Embiid and bring him to LA. But they traded all their damn assets. You know what I'm saying? But, they might do Ben for Paul George. I mean, at least you ain't expecting Ben Simmons to shoot the damn ball. Ben Simmons going to keep getting to the rack, but I don't know what they going to do, man. But maybe they can do a signing trade for Brandon Ingram and bring him to LA. So, who really knows? But let me know what you guys think. I think Luka is, one of the top 1 or 2 players in the league. He way better than LeBron at this point. LeBron, 35 years old. So, I mean, it's expected for him to kind of taper off. But hey, let me know what you guys think about the game last today. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you got business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel, Cash App, PayPal in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. Check out the NBA Talk playlist for more videos like this. Let me know what you guys think. One time we go.